Buddy, hi. It is now tarot time. I like the idea of calling it tarot time because I feel like Tarot Tuesday is already taken up. So why not tarot time? Let's do that. So here I like to pull some tarot cards for whoever needs it. A lot of times if nobody shows up, I just pull a couple of cards for the collective audience, and that way whoever comes on afterwards, maybe this is for you. I also like to reserve a card pull at the end for a past life reading if anybody is interested in that. Other than that, I'm just going to pull one for whomever is in need of it. So here we are. I'm very excited to be doing this. This is my bread and butter. This is what I enjoy doing, is tarot card reads, and especially past life readings. Those are what I feel like I do the best and the most effective. So either way, I mean, it's pretty amazeballs, but I wanted to make it so that way everybody has the opportunity, because not everybody can come to my fairs or whatever, or come to the fairs that I'm at, I should say, and get an exclusive tarot reading. But if you want an exclusive tarot reading, we can do that over Zoom, and it is very, very effective. And just let me know, DM me. You can access my website at www.3rdeyewithlorelei, Third Eye with Lorelei.com, and send me an email or a message, and let me know that you want a tarot reading or a past life reading. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and, so I have this card deck, which I absolutely love. I got this as a gift from a friend of mine. I love her. So I'm going to use this today to give you your communication. This is an oracle deck, not like the traditional Rider-Waite, Rider-Smith. I don't know. Either way, it's not the traditional tarot card deck. So this is an oracle deck, which is intuitively made with pictures and words to make it effective communication. So let's see if I can wait for a couple more people to come on here. Let's see. All right, let's see what okay. All right. So this is the first card. Be spontaneous. Got my IG people. See, sorry about the reflectiveness of the cards. They're obviously glossy, so what are you gonna do? So be spontaneous. So what this card tells me is that in general, you're probably stuck in a way of doing things. So you have your way, it's very structured, but maybe it's starting to get a little stale. Maybe things are starting to get old and you need to change it up. So a lot of times people that tend to lean into this find it very hard to be spontaneous. They find it very hard to break cycles, and they don't do super well with change, maybe on a grander level. Sometimes smaller change is a little bit more palatable. But what this card is telling me is that you're going to need to make some bigger changes in order to move forward, to break that staleness, that feeling of monotony, that feeling of just, kind of doing the same thing over and over, and it's just not doing it for you anymore. So what this card is saying to me is now is the time for you to start looking at new avenues of doing and being, and maybe if there's new opportunities for you to reach out or to perform differently, or especially at work or in your creative endeavors, to actually go out and seize those opportunities instead of just letting it pass by because you think, oh, well, maybe not this time. I've got these things that I have to get done. And it's like, well, this is the same thing that you've been doing every single day. Now it's time to prioritize putting in the spontaneity so that way you can actually find a little bit more fulfillment. Now, granted, For some of you, this looks like a bigger thing. And then there are some where you need to implement the smaller things, like just small change, because I feel like, you know, there are little things that are starting to nudge their way into your situation where you're just kind of going, and you do it. But those are the things that are going to actually help you progress. Those little changes, the little, I'm going to turn left instead of right today. I am going to go to this coffee shop instead of that coffee shop. Or, you know, it's just the smaller things to try. That way you're not feeling like you're stuck in a situation where you're doing everything, you know, the same all the time. So try this. Try something different. Do something that is outside of your comfort zone, outside of what you normally do, so that way you don't feel like you're constantly in this monotonous cycle of, okay, here we go. It's the same old thing every single day. Rinse, you know, wash, rinse, repeat, you know, over and over again, and that's it. So try the little changes, and then for some of you, you know what I'm talking about. I feel like for some of you, you know what that big change looks like, but you're too timid or you're too freaked out to really give it a shot. Give it a shot. This is your sign. Here's your sign. Okay. Sorry, I keep getting like little things from like, from the middle, from the bottom. So, okay, so we're going to do this one next. Memories. Now, what's really important that sticks out to me about this card is you see how, you know, she is sitting here and she's holding these cards here. And then she has like this, it looks like her hair. Yeah, it looks like her hair. And then there's some like maybe seaweed or something like that that's mixed in here. What this is telling me is that you are holding yourself back due to things that have happened to you in the past. And these cards down here are indicative of communication. That's what tarot cards are for. It's the same thing as prayer. Whenever you pray, you get communication in some way, shape, or form from divine source. Cards are the same way, just like we're doing right now. This is like a form of prayer. We're getting divine communication. And these cards are telling you this is what you should do, but yet you're still in this situation and you're still allowing yourself, not on purpose for most of you, but you're allowing yourself to stay stuck in this situation due to what has happened in the past for you. And that's really tough. That's a really tough thing to break free from, especially if there's trauma or, you know, if there's toxicity that you're trying to break free from or codependency. Those things are really challenging to break away from. But understand that this is your own tether that's keeping you from this. And for some of you, that can be really challenging, but it is in your mind. You can break away from this if you want to. You just have to make the first steps, take some opportunities to break away from it. And however that looks, if it's small or if it's large, take the opportunity to try and break free from that. So however this looks for you, try to understand that past is past. And if you allow what has already happened to affect what is in your present, you're never going to move forward. So you have to take the time to differentiate what is going on right in this moment, as opposed to, am I reacting from what has already happened and that's a wound space, or am I reacting from a new place? Like, is this like, oh, am I actually thinking that this isn't like a good thing, or is this from a place of like, well, this happened to me before, I'm scared it's going to happen again, so I don't really know if I should do it. Take time to realize what is holding you back. What is it really? Is it something that has really affected you in a negative way and you just don't know how to break free from it? Or is it something else? Okay. Next one is this. Dreaming. So I love all of these cards, but with this one that I really get a lot of really cool information from is that she's not really focused on anything. She's looking off into the distance. She's not looking at her shell. She's not looking at she's looking off and she's daydreaming, obviously, because the card is dreaming. And even though you have things in front of you that you could be paying attention to, now is the time for you to imagine what it would be like if A, B, and C. What would it be like if you took those opportunities, if you actually allowed yourself to think differently? Allowing your creativity to kind of come to the forefront instead of allowing only for these certain things to take place. So for a moment, allow yourself to dream. Allow yourself to think outside of the box, however that looks. Allow yourself to be different for a moment. What would it be like if you actually quit your job and started something different? What would it be like if you changed your relationships, or if you decided you weren't going to be doing this thing anymore? Or just fantasize. Imagine something new for yourself. What does it look like? What do your fantasies and your dreams look like, especially when you're awake? I mean, when you're dreaming that at night, it's a little bit different just because you have like full access, for the most part, full access to source and your divine self to get information and communication. But sometimes when you're daydreaming, it's the same sort of thing, but you are allowing your subconscious to kind of come to the forefront, but in a way that you can control a little bit better. And those look very interesting because what do those fantasies look like, especially when you're awake? So anyway, that's what I get from that card. The other thing too is that conch shell is usually, you can use this to hear, and then you can also use it as a horn. So the thing that's really interesting that I gleaned from this is that you can use this to amplify your own hearing and hear what is being spoken to you about your dreams and about things that are meaningful. And then you can also use this to vocalize and project some of those dreams out into reality. How can you do that? How can you make this into a living, breathing thing for your life? Blow your conch shell and hopefully your dreams will come to fruition, that sort of thing. Okay, so let's do one more. Okay. Some of y'all need this. A lot of us need this. It says relaxation. Yes. She kind of looks a little bit like me with her red hair. I kind of like it. So what this is saying is that obviously you need some time to relax into what it is that you're trying to achieve. A lot of times when we're on a mission and trying to achieve something for our purpose or whatever it is that we're trying to get, we're trying to manifest these things into our lives. We tend to get very laser focused, and we tend to, hi, mom and dad, I love you. We tend to get really laser focused, and then we forget how to remain open to everything that can come in, because we have our one way of doing things, and that is how we're going to do it, and this is how we're going to achieve A, B, and C. Whereas we really need to understand that the universe has a very perfect idea of what it is that we are needing for this purpose, and it'll fit perfectly. But if we are in a state of laser focus, we're also kind of in a state of resistance. We're not allowing things to come in. So instead of being permeable, we've now become rigid. So what this card is telling me is that in this process of moving forward and manifesting and doing all the things that we're trying to achieve for our purpose, remain open and relaxed about how things are coming to you. And then it also is different in how you give out too. It's not only one way. You're able to give out love and recognition and all the things that you need to give out in addition to. So this card is very much telling me that it's not just about, take a break. It's more like relax into the movement of your progress. Don't just sit there and be like, okay, a good example of this is in the running community. a lot of times people don't really like the idea of taking a break and walking because they're like, no, if you're going to run, you're going to run the whole thing. And it's like, okay, that's fine. But when you run the whole thing, you're not allowing your body to kind of relax and take a moment to adjust to what's happening. And also it helps you prevent injury when you take a moment to walk or, run a little bit slower. I know this is kind of a little bit of a reach, but I feel like it makes sense. But either way, it is the same in our forward movement with achieving what we want to achieve. Instead of thinking there is only this way of doing it, we are going to go and get this. This is how we're going to do it. I'm going to collect A, B, and C in order to get there, and there we go. It's a very rigid way of getting there. Allow yourself to be open to all of the ways that you can achieve this goal and, make your purpose more meaningful. So this is what I think this is saying. Relax into the forward movement of your progress. So that way you're not constantly in a state of, oh, I'm going to get there like this, and that's the only way. But there's so many different ways. And if you allow the universe to help you get there, and you allow these things to come into place and allow the things that aren't supposed to be there to fall away, you're going to get there not only faster, but you're going to get there with more meaning and things, and with a little bit more ease as well. Sometimes we forget we need to let go of the things that are no longer supposed to be there because we think, oh, well, this is the only way. You're the thing that needs to be there. And it's like, no, you don't. So relax into how it is supposed to go forward and let things be the way that they are, and don't be so stuck in how it's supposed to look and how it's supposed to go. Okay? All right. So I know this is very short, but I'm going to do one past life card for whoever is out there that needs it. And this is going to be fun because I'm not used to doing it without somebody sitting right in front of me. So this is going to be for somebody out there who I'm connecting to. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, then you should listen to my podcast, because in the laws of the universe, the very first law is the law of one, which is a state of connectivity with all things. So whoever is watching this and needing to understand what happened in your past, today's the day. Okay. Allow whoever's guide is trying to come in and talk to me for a second here. Yes, Lisa, weekly readings now. So instead of doing the Crystal Corner class that I usually do, I'm going to have that on a different site. That's going to be on Akasha Flix. And it's a lot more in depth, and it's a lot more information and crystals, and a little bit more time. So she likes it. All right. So, yeah, so I kind of, not that I don't like the crystal, because I love it. I love it. I feel like this is a little bit better to offer just as something for everybody, a little tarot reading thing, because it's something that I can just sit down and do. You know what I mean? I don't have to collect the tarot. I don't have to collect the crystals. I don't have to, look up all the information and everything. So this is just a sit down and do it sort of thing. Plus, I kind of feel like people really enjoy getting a tarot read. I mean, I do. I like it, so maybe that's just me, but I feel like there's a lot of people. Oh, yes. Well, let's do it. Let's do it. Lisa just said she loves my readings, and her husband really wants to do a past life reading with you now. Well, let's get it. Let's get it. And I'm thinking about doing most of my readings predominantly just over Zoom or online, just because I don't really have a place to do any of this. I don't have like a special space. So if you want a reading, let me know. And I think it's easier because then you guys don't have to go anywhere. You just hop on Zoom and then we can do a reading together. So Lisa, let me know if he wants one. Let's set it up. Let's do it. Let's make it happen. Sorry, I'm really dorky. Okay, so I'm going to pull one past life card. Maybe this is for you, Lisa. Maybe it's for my mom and dad. We'll find out. Or maybe it's for somebody brand new that is going to be watching this. Either way, let's take a listen of what this is. Ooh, you know what's really funny is I felt like this card was going to come out. Like, I really did. And I know my dad is probably like, yeah, you did. I love my parents. They're amazing. Okay. So this is the card that came up. Everybody see? Phobias. Okay. Now it's sort of funny to me. And I know that sounds really bad because it's like phobias aren't funny. No, they're not funny. It's just very on track with the entire reading that I just did. Yeah, I did. It's just it, and that's how it does. That's how it does with readings, right? You have a very obvious pattern that shows up. So clearly, this is not something new for you. Whoever is in need of this reading, whoever is got this happening, it is very, very hard to break free of cycles. And this lifetime is where your cycles began. At least this is where I'm feeling. And that's why this card is coming up. Because it's hard for you to make some changes and move forward when you have a lot that's stacked up against you that has been compiling over not just this lifetime of years, but past lifetime years as well. Sorry to interrupt really quick. Let's see. Mati Munoz. I'm going to get fallen and shift. Oh, very cool. Hi. Hello. Oh, well, good. I'm very excited for you that she's getting a job as a manager. That's amazing. Yay. That's great. And thank you for following and sharing the page. I love you, and I love all the people that are really interested in this stuff because it makes me happy knowing that what I'm providing is doing something for you. So, okay. So this isn't something that is new. This is something that has been happening for a number of lifetimes and a number of years. And this lifetime, I believe, is where it started. So I'm just trying to get, it usually is like a movie in my head. And it comes in, sometimes it comes in like a wham, like there it is. But sometimes it comes in very slowly. It trickles in. And usually it's like a guide being like, here it is. So just give me 1 second as it kind of comes on in for me to relay. Okay, so what's coming through for me is I feel like you were alive during the time of the Crusades. And if you don't know what the Crusades are, the Crusades were a time of when there was a lot of killing and murdering for those who were heretics. And heretics looked like pretty much anything that didn't have to do with the Catholic or Christian faith. And I feel like in this time frame, this picture is very, very indicative of what it looked like for you. And what's coming through is there was a lot of onlooking of, family and friends that were being killed for something that you didn't think was bad, but now you have to readjust everything to this structure, otherwise you weren't safe. And what that looked like was constantly going to some kind of mass or some kind of church and, almost like proving that you were a good Christian, like very pious person. I feel like in this lifetime, I'm trying to get, I don't think it really matters the gender for some reason. Sometimes it's like, they need to know, but I feel like that doesn't matter for some reason. I feel like you needed to be in church and you needed to show that you were exactly right and that you didn't need to die, basically. There was a lot of fear. Obviously, the card is phobias, but there was a lot of, but what created the cycle for you was this phobia, fear, sensation. So within this lifetime, it's like you went through and it was you were constantly like, doing this sort of thing. Like, am I next? Am I, you know what I mean? Did I do everything right? Is there a way that I could have done this so that way they don't see that I am like this person? And I feel like there was maybe some tie in your family that made you, under watch, if you will. So I feel like, oh, okay, so there's another lifetime that's actually kind of filtering in as well. So, and I'll try and close it out with this one. So this one, you felt like you changed everything to make it so that way it was fitting according to structure so that you were safe. And in a way, at the end of your life, there's the thing that's coming through is there wasn't like a super important way that you died. I felt like it was just a natural way of passing, but you died afraid. You were afraid to be who you were because who you were wasn't allowed. And I also feel like there was another lifetime, and this is really pretty powerful, and this makes a whole lot of sense, that you were in World War II and you were Jewish. And I feel like you being who you were was exactly the wrong thing. And I feel like, unfortunately, you did end up dying in a concentration camp. And there were a lot of family members that you watched being taken away from you. And it's very, very dark and very hard. But that makes a lot of sense with seeing and being who you are and being afraid to move past that. Being afraid to make changes so that way you can relax into being who you are, so that you can follow your purpose, because you've had so much fear and so much trauma in past life situations that prevent you from making those changes, because obviously you're afraid because you've had so much of if you do, then you're going to die. So in this lifetime, you may look and see that the present situation is not of that anymore, that you can make these changes and you will not die. You will not have somebody that is looking over your shoulder and be like, if you do that, you're going to die. You won't die. You're going to be okay. And if you choose to move forward with this new avenue, I feel like you will start to feel a sense of freedom and a sense of relief. Big time. So anyway, that pretty much covers my little tarot time today. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you would, I don't know, Lisa. I don't know. I don't. Usually I find validation if somebody messages me. So what this is I connect with the collective, and whoever this is for, they'll either speak up or they won't. Either way, there it is. Hopefully I'll hear from somebody. That would be amazing. But, like I was saying, in the law of the universe, the first law is the law of one, that we're all connected. So somebody is reaching out who I don't know who it is, but they're reaching out, and this was very clear. There's a pattern here that's happening. Oh, well, it might be for you. If you feel like this is resonating with you, then this could very well be for you. So don't be, but I don't know, because I sit here and I get what's handed to me and then I relay the information. And if it resonates very strongly with you, then you can either, the best thing would be to make the changes necessary in your life in order to live more fully and more meaningfully and feel more freedom in your life, or B, you can let me know, and that would be a huge validation. I don't necessarily need it. I don't. It's not something that is important to me, but it's cool. I love hearing from people about this. So if this really meshed well, let me know, because I love it. So anyway, that's pretty much it. I'm gonna message you. Don't want to put Okay, Lisa, please message me. I would love to hear from you. So anyway, you guys, I love you all. Let me know if you want a reading. I would be more than happy to do a reading for you. It is going to be over Zoom, just because this is what I got. Someday the universe will manifest a beautiful place for me to actually do all these. But I'm going to do this over video for right now, and you let me know, because I love all of you, and I want you guys to get what you need. So anyway, I will see you guys again for sure next week. Maybe I'll do another one if I have time. Most likely it'll be next week though. All right. I love you all. Love and light to every single one of you, and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.